So Breaking Bad, Iron Man, the E-Trade baby, these are good examples of video content that we love and enjoy watching. But for something like reality TV, 1 minute of the final product takes up to 17 hours of post-production. Well, part of the problem is a lot of teams are running around, sifting through emails with long threads where someone hits reply all, scheduling meetings on calendars, long phone calls with people in multiple time zones. And if you're sophisticated, then we're talking about color-coded spreadsheets. Hi, my name is Moyo. I'm the creative director of First Cut Pro, and with me is Taylor, who's our head of product. First Cut Pro is a communication and project management tool for video professionals. For you devs in the room, think of us as a pivotal tracker for post-production.
So to guide us through the example, we're going to introduce you guys to Paul. Paul and his team, there's a producer, he's got a client he's going to work with, as well as an editor. And so in the typical kind of workflow today, an editor would finish a rough cut and send Paul a link, let's say via Vimeo or YouTube. Paul would then take that link and send it via email or mass email to his clients, his editors, and the rest of his team. And they go back and forth like they do so right now. However, we're going to show you exactly what it looks like in First Cut Pro. Instead of doing emails and back and forth, all Paul needs to do is drop in a link and he creates a viewing room. And of course, we've got a viewing room created here. And so, as you can see, the viewing room is, the sole focus is on the video itself and to give feedback on it. And so, playing a video, Paul's watching the video and he sees, there's something wrong with the color here. So as he starts typing, you'll notice that we automatically pause the video for Paul. When he hits enter, it submits the video, the comment, the timestamp, and automatically resumes the video form as well. And so we know that there's been other comments or other teammates have given feedback already. And so going through here, we see the clients left some stuff, and at timestamp, let's say 29 right here, it says transitions are too fast. And so Paul could then go in and say, okay, what does she mean by that? And by replaying, she sees, okay, the transitions were pretty fast. And so responding to them, all he's got to do is say, agree. And that then replaces, let's say, emails going back and forth. Now, going through here as well, you notice that there's probably a lot of things going on. And so people might be saying, let's say, transitions are too fast over and over and over again. And so we've made it really easy by allowing users to set their own kind of quick comments. That then usually when they're hitting or playing the video, instead of having to type it again and again, all they have to do is hit a hotkey and store it. And so collecting feedback is great, right? And clearly we've made it very, very easy to collect timestamp feedback. However, collection is one part. You've got to make it actionable in some way. And so this is our review and export pane. Here you have a digest of all your stakeholders giving feedback. And so that example we saw of Sally coming in and saying the transitions were too fast, we're at timestamp 29. And so Paul could come in and say, okay, that's an important one, we've got to turn it into an edit. He can then immediately assign it to his editor, let's say Tony. Tony's then obviously going to get a notification. Now, let's switch gears. This is now Tony's review and export pane. We've also made it very easy for Tony to then export it directly into his favorite video editing software. And we support all of them. And so today we're going to show you guys Adobe Premiere. And for everyone who's done editing, this is Adobe Premiere. And as you can see, our markers actually show up directly in the timeline. And so this was Sally's, or the client's, comment at the transitions are too fast.
All right, so part of working with Paul's team and companies that are similar is that we know the creators really do love us. Part of the reason why is because it's easy to use and it's easy to manage. IT department specifically loves because it's browser-based and we leverage using existing hosting infrastructure. Basically, they really don't have to do anything. Another thing that we observe is teams, and no matter how big or small they are, in order to have content being created, whether it's a commercial, a movie, or an educational video, teams are using First Cut Pro in exactly the same way to collaborate and manage on products. Another thing we've noticed that because they do love using us is there's a network effect amongst different companies. Now, keep in mind that everyone is a stakeholder in the world of video today. Whether you're a creative, or a producer, or a director, everyone uses video. So Paul's team started using Paul's team started using First Cut Pro on a few pilot projects. That number grew to 20 within 2 weeks, and later on, within 2 months, there were over 40 professionals using First Cut Pro to collaborate and manage projects together, all from the same firm. So today, we're introducing project-based pricing that's friendly to teams of all sizes. We hope to continue. Okay, thank you. So
Take your time.
no problem.
If you have anything you want to say, no problem.
All right. Let's go back to Sarkbot real quick. So we're introducing project-based pricing that's friendly to teams of all sizes. We want to make it affordable for small teams while keep on producing upsides for our larger clients. And today, we're announcing our native integration with Adobe, and by our next update, we would have met all standard and guidelines for the Motion Picture Association of America. The MPAA, they're the guys who sets all the standards and guidelines for the studios of Hollywood. And here are some of the teams that we work with that are currently using First Cut Pro. We're happy to have them along as we keep on bringing post-production out of the Stone Ages. Thank you.
All right. Judges, thoughts?
I thought that you gave a pretty good product pitch, but I didn't think the business pitch was that good. It's very clear to me that both of you know the product, you know the space really well. It's very authentic. It's great to see. I wish you had in your presentation a better business case that talks about how this can become a huge company that could change the world. So that was kind of missing. So my question's really, how big of a problem is this? How many people need this product? How big is the market for this?
So in professional production today, it spans movies, broadcast, education, commercials, advertising. There's probably about 30 billion plus spent on wages in video software across the industry today. Right now we probably don't know the exact amount that we probably working there, but Avid and Adobe, they're doing huge. There are only one person on the team as the editor using that software, and our software spans all of them.
Okay, but that still doesn't tell me about how big the market is for the software yourself.
Sure. So right now there's probably about 20,000 advertising agencies in general, about on average, let's say 50 people in those average ad firms. If we're doing, let's say $30 per user, per month, just in advertising alone, it's pretty sizable. You've got movies, you've got education, you've got new media, you've got all the YouTube channels now as well. Video is literally ubiquitous.
Thank you.
So I've got some friends that work at these agencies, and a lot of them, their entire job is communicating with the client. So this seems really useful for internally, managing the creative process. But how do you get the client to actually log into some brand new system that no other agency is using? That it seems easier for them to pick up the phone and yell at the producer than it is to click around in some weird interface.
Sure. So our whole goal was to make it extremely easy to use. And so I didn't necessarily show it, but one of the things was you can have your client come in as a guest user. There's nothing really to sign in or log into. They just submit an email. They go in, no accounts required, and it's now logged. Right? All of that goes back to production. However, if you do want to have a longer lasting relationship with these clients, it's very Google Doc style, where as people start editing or updating things, the client gets notifications. And they're saying, hey, someone's, let's say, replied to your comment. Now he's actually being involved in the process. Now you're really starting to talk about client relationship management, making sure your client's happy. Right? The client's saying something now, and it goes directly to the editor who's going to make the actual edits, versus going to, let's say, a producer then telling the creative then telling the editor.
Okay. Well, what's your pitch for people whose entire job is to sit between the editor and the client? That's their day job, right?
Sure.
You're kind of eliminating.
Yep. Well, it's one of those things that they still need to manage the accounts, right? You still need people there to manage everything, right? That's what the account manager or executive producer are doing.
So you had a very impressive list of customers. I'm curious. I didn't catch sort of what were they using before you guys, and what insights do you have that these competitive products don't have?
Sure.
Why are you going to win?
Sure. So what they're using today, there are some competitors to us. I'm not going to say there's not. But typically in the industry, they're using emails, the phone calls, meeting in person. One of our larger clients today, they completely switched from spreadsheets, right, to us. And the spreadsheet we saw there was actually a client spreadsheet. What we think we have better, let's say, than our competitors today is our entry into the larger firms, the IT big enterprise, where our strategy was, look, we don't do any of the hosting. You keep your content on your servers wherever you want. We'll work with that and use those as sources while we wrap the experience or provide the experience.
So you guys have accomplished quite a bit on the product side, very little capital raised. On the business side, what's the plan for acquiring customers? How do you approach the process?
So as of today, right now it's word of mouth. It's us going out and doing kind of literally enterprise sales things. However, just like we saw there, we've seen it's a collaborative kind of project tool. In this industry, it's very freelancer and contractor focused, where literally today this editor is using the software and he's probably working on 3 to 4 other projects with other teams at the same exact time. And what we've already seen where, for example, there was one client who's working with Disney. They worked with Disney, and then the next client they worked with was SeaWorld. And now SeaWorld is using First Cut Pro.
Any other questions? All right, well, that's First Cut Pro. Thank you guys very much. All right, so the next company to present is Next Caller.